Okay. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming to class today. I wanted to start by reading something, as I mentioned before we hit record. Every time I read something, hear something that speaks to me, I write it down in a book. So this book is full of quotes and things that I've read or some little things I've written. And this is probably my third or fourth book like this that is just full of stuff. But this one I thought was really interesting from a yoga perspective. And it was written by Elizabeth Stanley, and it's very short. And it says, we're not aiming to be perfect here. We're aiming to be whole. And that journey requires non judgmental curiosity and self compassion. So simple. And I think sometimes when we are doing yoga or teaching yoga, even some of my cueing is, move your knee and do this and do that and get your shoulder in the right place. But it is truly not about being perfect or looking a certain way. It's about being curious, like where will your body go? Does this free it up or does it jam it up? What's actually happening in your own body? So that's where I want to play today, just with some curiosity in your own body. We're going to start laying down, have a strap nearby and a block nearby. And then come on down to your back. You can leave your knees bent, your feet on the floor. And we start that curiosity, that inquiry here, just by laying on the floor and seeing how that feels. I mean, other than our yoga practice, how often are we either sitting or laying on a floor? So notice where the shoulders are just naturally. And then what would happen if we start to press the back of the shoulders toward the floor a little bit more? You're welcome to have something under your head, by the way, especially if your upper back is very rounded or you feel like you're lifting your chin to get the head to the floor. So start here at the shoulders and just draw the back of the shoulders to the floor. And then release them and let them be normal. Don't roll them forward, just press them back and release. Good. A couple more here. Press back and release. Good. This last one, as you press the shoulders back, align the elbows along the sides of your body and let your fingertips just softly point toward the ceiling. Press from the elbow to the shoulder into the floor, straight down. Notice how your body starts to arch a little bit more. Your head is neutral. You're not lifting your chin. You're just pressing straight down, straight down, straight down. Feel maybe a shift in your feet. And then as you press, lift the hips just an inch or two. Don't go into bridge pose. Don't go into a back bend in any way. Just press through the back of the shoulders to lift the hips, to press into the feet, and then come on down. And let that go. Let your hands come down to your sides, or maybe even cactus pose. That might be kind of nice there. Ooh, feel the chest open up a little bit. Leave your left foot on the floor. Take your right knee to your chest. And the deeper it goes to chest, the more your back on the right side is going to round. So take the knee away from you and find neutral so that you have an even curve on both sides. Good. Bring it in towards your chest and push the knee away. Good. Just one more here. Push it into your chest and then push it away until you have a curve. Keep the knee bent. Take it out to the side and let the left knee go out to the left side. So it's this weird kind of Stretch through the inner groin. Both knees are bent, one at 90 degrees, the other one on the floor, the knee on the, or the foot on the floor. And we're stretching through, but we're staying even on the hips. And then bring them across, cross your knees, bring both knees to your chest. No hands necessary. And breathe, and then circle your knees so that you roll around on your sacrum. You go from hip to hip. Take a nice deep breath. Circle the other way. And then undo the knees, but let them sit side by side. The arms are down, the shoulders are down, the legs, both legs go straight up to the ceiling. And then open the legs. Again, no hands, ideally. Bend both knees. Bring them both into center. Straighten them both up to the ceiling. Open them both wide. Bend the knees. Bring them back in one more time. Open straight up to the ceiling. Open up nice and wide. Notice the upper body here. Bend the knees. Bring the knees back in and let your feet come back to the floor. And breathe. Bring your left knee to your chest. Notice how the back rounds, and then push the knee away and bring it in. And then push it away just enough to come to neutral and bring it in again. And push it back to neutral. Take that knee out to the side. Let the other knee fall out to the side. One is lifted, the other one is on the floor. I'm leaning on the pinky side of my right foot. Good. Breathe, everybody. And then bring the knees together. Cross knee over knee. Draw both knees to chest. Just stretching out. And breathe. And you notice that you don't really need your hands for any of this. Undo the knees, knee next to knee. Take both legs up. Open the legs out to the sides. Bend the knees. Bring the legs back in. Two more. Take it up. Open up nice and wide. Bend the knees and then bring them together. Last one. Take it up. Open up those knees. Bend the knees. And bring those knees together. Release your arms, wrap around your knees, draw the knees in as much as you want. And then grab your strap, scooting to the edge of my mat so I might have some room. Take the strap around your right foot. Your left foot is on the floor and the strap is around the ball mound of your right foot. Once it's there, I want you to draw that foot, those toes, closer to your chest by flexing your foot, by pressing into the ball mound. I was reading an interesting article about our feet and the health of our feet and how little we go barefoot and how we can kind of wake up the feet by using a strap for pressure, right? So we press into the ball mound. We're working with the feet. Maybe you turn your foot in and out a little bit, right? A little bit of pronation and supination. And then just press straight down. Release that, slide the strap down to the arch of your foot and press straight down. And again, maybe you sickle in and then out, working with the ankle here a little bit. Notice any sensations or lack of sensation on the feet. Come back to center and press straight down. And then slide it until the strap is right where the arch ends and the ball or the heel starts. So we do this a lot of times with the tennis ball. And this is where our Achilles tendon begins. And then do that little sickle thing again. So if your Achilles tendon at the back of your ankle is tight, or your calf muscles are always tight, and you wonder why, check this area where the heel meets. And then slide it down to the heel itself, press straight down. Imagine that you have contact from the heel to the hip, straight line. Straighten the left leg optionally, and lift the left leg again optionally. Draw the strap strongly down the heel of your foot. Feel the connection from your hip to your foot, and then raise the left leg up to the ceiling. Hook your left foot in right at the ball mound. Your right foot just comes to the floor, so no straight leg here. This is less about hamstrings, more about the foot itself. So once again, we're here, we're on the left side. I've got the strap around the ball mound. I'm gonna sickle in the foot and sickle out, pronate and supinate, and just see where's the movement in my feet. And then I'm gonna straighten the foot and press straight down. There's that stretch through the calf muscles, the Achilles. Find your breath. I often and always encourage my students to look at other people to see how they move, to see what is in balance and out of balance, so that you have information, right? And then scoot the strap down to the arch of the foot, always being mindful. I know some of us have injuries in the foot that maybe that you don't want to press down really hard. So once that strap's there, sickle in and press out and move through the ankle and smile and be curious, right? Again, not about being perfect. It's about being curious, about loving yourself, feeling a deep sense of self-compassion, and then just stay straight with the foot and press down through the arch. And walk that strap down a little bit more. So you're right where the arch ends and the heel starts. Press straight down, turn the foot in, turn it out. Breathe. And then right to the heel of the foot. Straight down if you can. I know the hands are probably getting tired. You can wrap that strap around, maybe loosen up the fingers. Straighten the right leg. See how that feels. Now more hamstring, right? Lift the right leg, hold, press straight down on your strap. Lift the right leg, take it up, grab that, put both feet in and press the strap down from both feet. And then take the strap off. Both legs still pointing up to the ceiling. Grab your block, press it between your ankles, and hold on for dear life. No. You can take your hands under your sacrum for more lower back support, but you don't have to. Just decide for you what feels good. And with that block between your feet, I have it at the narrowest setting and I have it long. I'm going to point my toes and then I'm going to flex my feet. You're holding on from the big toe and ankle side. Point your toes and flex. Good. Point and flex. Good. One more. Point and flex. And then hang on to that block. Go ahead and put thumbs underneath your sacrum. Squeeze through the belly. Press the shoulders down. Lower the legs a little bit and breathe. You're going to bend the knees, but you're going to see if you can sweep the feet close to the floor and then bring the knees up, straighten the legs up. So it's almost like you're trying to do this funky little circle with the knees bending on the way down. It's like you're stirring a really big pot that's on its side. Good. Hang on to your block. Breathe. Core work, simple core work here. The more the legs are straight going down, the harder it is core wise. It's hard just to hang on to this darn block. Come on, we got one more here, a big stir of this pot. And then take the legs straight up. Bend your knees, grab the block, place it between the knees, directly between the knees, unless that hurts. Find your breath, squeeze your block. So, what do you feel here, right? I can tell you what I feel, but it won't be necessarily what you feel as we work with this. Take the arms to cactus pose, unless you need the hands under sacrum, which is your first priority. Feel the shoulders press down, feel the elbows press down, squeeze your block, bend your knees, tap your toes, and then take the legs straight up. Bend your knees, tap your toes, and straight up. Good. Just three more. Tap. Easy core work here, I think. Breathe. Speak for myself, right? And up. Good. Last one. Tap and up. Beautiful. Take that block, take it between your thighs. Woo! I know it. I know it. And I want you to rock to one hip just a little bit so you're partly to the side. Squeeze your block. Go center, tip to the other side. Squeeze. Again, core work. Center, tip to the side and squeeze. Don't go too far. Center, tip to the other side. Squeeze. And center, hold, bend your knees. One, you're going to turn to the side and come to a seat, or two, you're going to cross ankles and rock up and then move your block out of the way. And breathe. Woo, good. Just shake those legs out, everybody. And notice, right? So we lift up really tall. We find that really sweet idea of what we can do with the legs. So you're going to lean back. Your feet are wide. Your shoulders are back. And windshield wiper. Just windshield wiper here. What do you feel? Where is it in your body? See, can you go wider with your feet or no? Not knees, feet. There you go. All right, the next time those knees are over to the left, I'm going to mirror here. Just pause and go slow. It's like, all right, so what's happening when I start to rotate and bring my torso back kind of behind me? Where is it in your body? Where is the stretch? Are you going too far? Is it far enough? If you're okay, if the knees are to the right, I want you to reach if your knees are to the left, reach your right arm up and breathe. And then curl in through the belly, press the hips in, engage the right glute, and breathe. And release it and come on back. And take the knees up and notice that. And then windshield wiper again. Now, some of us, we're windshield wiper and we're not really thinking about anything. When I windshield wiper, I go, oh, I'm going over those glute muscles, right? So maybe I can figure that out. Maybe I can feel the glute muscles and go, oh, it's tight right there, right? There's a spot. Trust me, there's always a spot. Next time the knees are to the right, go ahead and let them go slow. It's kind of cool if you like slow it down a little bit and go, oh, there it is. And then take the back arm and start to twist. And where do you feel that? All the way through the hip, the chest, the spine. Find the spot that makes sense in your body. Curl in through the pelvis a little bit, right? It's a slight tuck of the pelvis, and then the left arm reaches up. And breathe. And can you find a line that wants to stretch with zero pain? Breathe. And then release it and come on out and let go and come back to center and take the feet to Baddha Konasana. So notice, where is your Baddha Konasana, right? So it is taught with the heels of the feet right up to the inner groin. That does not feel good for a lot of people. What happens if we move the heels out a little bit? So go ahead and try it, even if your normal is with the feet closer in. And breathe. And what happens if you bring the knees up at that point? And what happens if you let them go? And bring them up again. And let them go. Good. One more time. Squeeze them up and let them go. And then walk the feet out a little bit more and bring the knees up and let them go. I feel like it's such a pretty little butterfly. Squeeze them up and out. Good. And squeeze them up and let them come out. And then walk the feet out just a little bit more. Right. So, what shifts in your body if you're here and you're rounded and you're here and you're straight? Which one serves your body better? And then bring the knees up and squeeze and let go. Bring the body or the knees up and squeeze. Good. Last one. Squeeze them in and let go. And then no hands. Bring them in, straighten those legs and find Dandasana with arms up. And breathe. Keep the arms up. Hold on to the imaginary beach ball. Open up the legs. What did that change? Find your breath. Take one hand down, reach with the other hand. That feels so good. And take it up. Squeeze the beach ball, go to the other side. If you didn't have the oh this feels so good sensation, you're probably too deep, right? You're probably just overreaching. So take it up just a little bit and squeeze it up. Reach the arms open, bring it all back together. Whew, and shake out the legs. And then I want to do one more thing. So in yoga, right? Especially if you're taking a class, you want the teacher to tell you what to do. That's just all there is to it for most people. I want you to experiment with your legs. And I know this is particularly hard for some compared to others, but I want you to come back to this windshield wiper, but maybe the feet aren't so far apart. And then what would happen, and I know a lot of you will just kind of take suggestions, but what will happen if I start to move the legs over? What's going on in your hips, your spine, as you start to play? What happens if the knee comes up and I start to roll and just like, right? What happens? Can you free up your idea? Can you let one hand go? I was showing some of the girls before, like I'm break dancing on the floor here. Like what happens if you start to roll around on your mat and then pause and breathe and notice how comfortable you were or were not with that. And it's not a judgment, right? It is just where you're at the moment. Just breathe. And know that you can do that anytime, anywhere in front of your TV. You can start to go, what happens when this is what I do when you don't see me. Okay. So just, I'm like, what happens when I start to move this way or this way in my body? What happens to you when you move? And when did we stop? Right? As kids, we were doing this all day long. As adults, we move in certain ways and not in others. So there we are. All right, come on up, everybody. Let's come to table pose. I know this is kind of a very weird class and probably even harder if you happen to be on Zoom. So put something under your knees. Come to table pose. Hang in there with me. It's almost the end of the year. Tuck in through your belly, but then find neutral because we can over tuck and then end up with a flatter round or a rounded up back. So find the neutral part of this and take your right leg back and lift the leg and start to circle that knee, but do it in a way that invites curiosity. Circle the knee, maybe extend the leg, maybe bring it more forward, maybe bring it more back. What happens if you move the shoulders with it? Maybe you bring it in through the middle and go the other way. And breathe. And then pick one spot and stop. Just one spot. It doesn't have to be a particular spot. And then move it an inch, move it an inch, another inch. Start to maybe extend as you go back into your circle and release that. And then flip toes under and just press back. And come on up. And go to the other side. Extend the left leg out, tone in through the belly, lift, and then find the circle, find the movement. And it is not a perfect circle, is it? It might be a really funky circle. It might move more oblong than round. And maybe you change direction and breathe and notice. And then same thing on this side, stop wherever you are, and then start to move an inch at a time through the remainder of that circle. Whew. And breathe. And then let that knee come back down. And walk both hands forward. Come to puppy stretch. And breathe. And come on up. And step forward with your right foot. Right foot. I'm hearing in my own voice like the tail end of my last words is dropping off to nothing. So hopefully you can hear me just fine. Grab your blocks. And same thing, front knee. Move into it slowly and move out of it. And forward. You can go past your ankle as long as it doesn't hurt your knee, but do it slowly, not bouncy. And back. And bend, look up. And when you come back, maybe the foot flexes, maybe it points, maybe you do it differently each time. And last one. And breathe. Come back to neutral. Take the same right foot, take the block to the inside and turn the foot to the outside a little bit. It's at a diagonal and I went wider. And then find the same thing. What happens if you bend? Watch the knees here, everybody. Your knee and your foot should point the same direction. And then squeeze back. And reach forward. The torso is forward. It's just the leg that's diagonal. Good. And breathe. And last one. Hold here. Straighten your right foot, but keep it wide. You can keep your hands on your blocks. Flip your left toes under and lift your knee. Once you lift that knee, fire up that leg, fire up the glute on the left side. Feel yourself get really strong here. Take your left hand block and lower it to the lowest level and take the right arm up. Breathe. Don't overshoot the shoulder. Don't overshoot the wrist, right? So I'll see that sometimes where the palm is almost face up to the ceiling. Extend out, find the line. Squeeze your left glute, everybody. And then lower that hand down, lower your knee down, scoot the hips back and bring the right foot back. Bring both blocks back up to that same level and bring the left foot forward. And move the knee forward, nice lunge, and squeeze back. And find your breath. And worry less about how you're supposed to do it and think more about how you feel as you do it, right? If my foot is straight and I'm going straight back, I feel the stretch in one place. When we turn that foot out, it feels like it's in a different spot. Last one. Take the left hand block inside, walk your left foot out, and then just turn it to the side. So your knee and your foot face the same direction. And then again, bring the hips forward, bring them back. Notice the torso stays centered. I'm not leaning toward the left. I'm staying right in the middle. Don't do anything that hurts. Good. Last one. And center, bring that foot, the left foot straight. Lower your right hand block. Lift your right knee off the floor. Engage your glutes. Take the left arm up. And breathe. Just notice. Exhale down. Take both blocks to the lowest level. Make sure both blocks are solid on your mat. Step back to down dog. If your blocks feel slippy, take them off or take them out. And then tiptoes down to your knees. Reach back, hands stay on your blocks. Round your spine up. As you exhale, take the hips forward. Careful here. If you over dip, you're going to strain those hips. And then tuck in to press back. I know for some, the knees aren't going to allow you to go all the way back. Round up, unfurl. Breathe, sit back, curl up and open. Last one. Curl back, round, open, bring the hips back. Take your blocks and point the top ends to each other. Bring your elbows down to your blocks and lift your knees for an elbow plank. Now squeeze your legs, tone the belly, lengthen your sternum, your breastbone forward. Push into your blocks. Find your breath. Lower your knees and release it. And breathe. And then take your blocks to the high or to the second level. Come on up, right foot forward. I know we haven't even stood up yet. Lift your left knee. Squeeze through your glutes. Find your pose. Straighten the front leg. Take a look at your foot. Is it sickling in or out? Can it be straight? Can the kneecap be straight? Can we find our breath? Soften the shoulders. Lengthen the spine. Bend your front knee. Take the right arm up. And breathe. Circle the right arm down. Back to your block, straighten the front knee. Bend the front knee. Circle your right arm up. Circle it back to your block. Straighten your front leg. One more. Bend. Circle, go slower still. All the way down. Straighten your front leg. Feel the stretch. Feel the pose. Feel the energy line. Can you line up your big toe with your inner ankle, with your inner knee, with your inner groin? And then bend your front knee, lower your other knee. And switch sides. I know, I know. So it's kind of interesting, right? When you slow it down, things shift, right, Miss Cease? I'm looking at her. No. Your hands are on your blocks. And I should have said optional on the other side, but optional if you want to lift your right knee, breathe, soften the shoulders away from your ears, and straighten the front leg. And then just bend it. Good. And straighten. And bend. One more, straighten. Feel the stretch. Line up the things in your body. How do you feel? What is the sensation here? Bend. Leave your right hand on your block. Take the left arm up. Reach. And then circle it down to your block. Straighten your front leg. Bend your front knee. Circle your left arm. Straighten up. Last one. Bend your front knee. Reach, slow circle, slow, open up. Down to your block. Straighten the leg. Hold your pose. Line up the big toe mound with the inner ankle, with the inner knee, with the inner thigh. Find your breath. Bend your front knee, lower your right knee, slide your left leg back, move your blocks out of the way. Puppy stretch, everybody. Drop the elbows, interlace your hands, and plank pose on elbows. How do you both stretch and strengthen? Breathe. Tuck in through the belly, lengthen through the chest, press through the entirety of the lower arms, and then lower the hips to the floor. Separate your hands, Sphinx pose. Find your breath. Stretch out through your belly and breathe. And then lower all the way down, lift both legs. Press one foot down, engage the other back line or glute. Press the other foot down, lift the one, and switch. And switch. And switch. Keep that one up, lift the other one, flex your feet. And point. And lower. Whew. Press up and back to child's pose. Very brief here. It's not really a child's pose. It's a transition to table, to down dog. Find your breath. Separate your feet nice and wide and walk those hands back. Bend the knees. Come on up to standing, everybody. And let's move our blankets out of the way. And notice maybe how you feel. I know, funky little class today. As we start to move, excuse me, move through the shoulders. Move through the shoulders. Whew. Maybe you do one, then the other. Maybe you do both. What happens when you go forward versus back? What happens if you take one over your head and then the other one over your head? And then bring them together and come to eagle arms. And then inhale, reach them up. Exhale, float down. Excuse me. Shake out your hips. Find your breath. Bend your knees, hands come to knees, lift up your head, look forward, stand up. Inhale up. Exhale, float down. Is it any different on this side or this time compared to the first? Shake your hips side to side. Soft knees. Come back to center, bend the knees, hands to knees, look up, stand up. Inhale up. Exhale all the way down. Soften the knees and step back with your right leg. Consider no block for a change. Go to a soft fist on your right side, your right hand, and circle the left arm up. Just see how it feels to not use a block. Circle that arm all the way down, flat hands, down dog. Plank pose. One elbow down. The other elbow down. Soft interlace, plank pose. Knees down, Sphinx pose. Oh, stretch your belly. Find your breath. Lower all the way down, lift both legs. Lower those down, press up, plank to down dog. Find your breath. Step forward, right leg. Soft fist on the left side. Bring the right arm up. Find your smile, find your breath, find your energy line. If we press the hand into the floor, can we lift higher with the other arm? Exhale, circle it the rest of the way. Flat hands, down dog, everybody. We're almost there. Pedal it out. Plank pose. Elbow down. Other elbow down. Hold. Breathe. Notice. Knees down. Release the hands. Sphinx pose. Stretch your belly. Lower all the way down. Lift both legs. Maybe flutter kick just a little. Straight legs if you can. And then lower fully down and just shake out those hips. Press back to child's pose or puppy stretch. Breathe. So listen up. We're going to come up just a slightly different way. It will not work for everybody. So come up the way that you think makes sense. If your toes are flipped under, you're going to come onto your feet and lift up. Breathe. So taking your knees off the floor. From here, squeeze in through your belly and stand up. Ooh. From here, lift up. Come all the way up. Right? Because what did we just do? We just stretched the feet, the knees, the hips. Connecting all of those babies. Just shake it out. Shake it out. Find your breath. And then maybe you come to a wall space, right? Maybe you have a hand near or at a wall. And all we're going to do is we're going to play one more time before we kind of wrap all this up. So maybe your hands are to your hips, maybe they're out to the sides. I just want you to feel your one foot, like come right up to the toes and press down. So if I turn sideways, I'm just peeling and pressing, peeling it up and pressing it down. And then I'm going to bring the foot up, put it down, drop the heel, peel the toes, up, down. Good. Keep that going. Come all the way back to the heel each time. That's it. Next time the knee is up, we're going to hold, level out the hips, flex your foot, lift your chest. Arms up, optional. Breathe. Tall in your standing leg, one hand to a wall, straighten the leg if you can. Breathe. Bend the knee, take it out. Woo. Hands can move to adjust. Drop it, circle down, and let it go. And breathe. Getting windy out there. All right. Mountain pose. Hands are wherever it makes sense to you, right? If you saw a tightrope walker, they would never have their hands on their hips. They'd be out here working with their balance. So, other foot, I want you to peel and then set it down. Just go through your foot and down. And down. Good. One more. And then peel and lift. And then back down to your toes, back to your heel. Yep, just a few here, right? We're giving ourselves this information about the standing and the lifting and what's required of the feet. So the next time the knee is lifted, hold, squeeze through the standing leg. Maybe the arms go out, maybe they go up. Maybe the leg straightens. Woo. And breathe. Bend the knee, maybe it goes out to the side and the arms go out to the side. And maybe we circle that knee down and let it go. Shake it out, everybody. Whew. Kind of notice how you feel, like, where's the body? Where are you? Okay, you know, it's an interesting thing. We were again talking about this before class, that we are losing our, one person wrote that we are losing our ability to sense our own bodies and our own feelings. With that, our intuition and our instincts, things like that. And if you yourself put your hands, your fingers on your arm and went up, what do you actually feel, right? This is not a sensitive surface, but what do you feel if you closed your eyes and touched your arm and noticed? Did that change that arm in any way? It's kind of interesting. Do the other side, right? Harder touch versus lighter touch. What do you feel? Where is it more sensitive, less sensitive? And then do you still feel the after effect when it's over? Kind of cool and groovy. Some of my favorite words. Stand tall. Shift into one leg, hands to hips or out. Peel the foot, lift the leg, stand tall, take the knee out to the side, and then come to your tree pose. Take your hands to your heart. Press strongly into the entirety of your foot. And breathe. Hands either stay here or they go up. Woo. Maybe they come together. Maybe the index fingers reach up and the arms hug the ears. Maybe none of those things are happening because you are in awareness. And then bring the hands back to your heart. Bring the knee to center. Extend it out. Bend the knee to the ball mound and back to the heel. Shake it out. Sometimes I know what I want to do, but saying them in the correct order, whole different thing. I'm like, think about it. Go down your body. All right, same thing, other side. Shake it out. Find your shift into the other leg. Peel your foot off. Bend the knee. Find your balance. Take the knee out to the side. Come into your tree pose. You can use your hand here. Engage the standing leg. Take your hands to your heart. Maybe this is where you stay. Maybe this is where I stay on this side. Once you find your balance, take the arms up, optional. Whoop. Breathe. Maybe the hands come together and the index finger points up. And we find this tallest tree. And then the hands come back to your heart. And then we release and bring the knee forward and straighten the leg. Woo. Bend the knee, tap down through the ball mound, drop the heel. Let the hands come down to your sides. Find mountain pose. Close your eyes. And feel the sensation in a body that is alive. Blood flow, breath, heartbeat, muscles. And then open the eyes, shake it out. Come on back to the front of your mat, everybody. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, take it down. Step back to downward facing dog. Find your dog. 1, you're here. 2, you're dropping the knees for child's pose because that's enough for today. 3, you're going to lift your left leg. First, lift it so that the hips are level. And then point the toes and keep on lifting and allow the hip to open. Maybe bend the knee and bring your heel to the opposite side glutes. And then shift back into relative levelness with the shoulders. Yep. So when we're doing this, we tend to lift off the left shoulder or the left hand. So I'm going to ask you to level that out a little. And then straighten the leg and then straighten it hip to hip. Flex your foot and let go. Lower down to your knees. Ooh. Little baby child's pose. Find your breath. Come on up again. Second side. So that's giving you the hint that you can bow out if you want. Ooh, plant your hands. When you're ready, lift the right leg. Try to level the hips. It does not have to be perfect. Point the toes, lift the leg, allow the hip to open. Bend the knee, and then shift a little bit back toward the right shoulder. Straighten the leg, straighten the hip, flex the foot, lower the leg. Lower your knees, everybody. Whew. Child's pose. Find your breath. And then come back to a seat. We're almost done. Back to a seat. And breathe. Roll your shoulders back. Feel your body. Notice your breath. And then open the body. Open your eyes. Take the feet wide. We're going to hold this twist a little longer. We're coming back to the twist we started with. If you want blocks to lay on, it is up to you. I find them, I don't need them, but you may want them over to this side. We're going to start on the left side. I'm scooting forward just so I have room behind me to twist. So the feet are wide. Slowly bring your knees to the left. And just feel that to start. Not everybody's knee is going to come down to the floor. Some of it's going to be high. For some of you, your feet are going to be closer together. The back arm starts to shift. I want you to feel this. So turn and look toward that back space. Let your hand come to the floor. Both hands are even. And then maybe you drop to your elbows. Maybe not. Just pause here. Like I got my backs to everybody. Maybe you come down to your chest and let your hands make a pillow. This is a fairly deep twist, everyone, so be mindful. Maybe the back leg moves back slightly, but there is a slight tuck of the pelvis that's just going to keep the SI joints into a little more integrity. So a little slight tuck of the pelvis. Find your breath. And just notice how this feels in your body. Good. Press up, everybody. Undo your twist. Come on back. And release the legs. Whew. That's good. That was good stuff. Good. Rock the legs. Think about rolling over those hips, right? Oh, rolling over the glutes. Next time your knees are heading toward the right, just go slow. Think about it and then extend, get big, tall, reach, let the hand come down, extend through the other hand. Feel this pose, this motion. Maybe you drop to your elbows and pause there to inquire. Maybe you drop down to the hands. And you rest. Come on up, press into your hands. That was one of those, right? Could stayed there a long time. Take that hand, reach it up and over. Ooh, bring the legs back. Come back to Baddha Konasana. And this time, choose yours. Heels in, heels out. What do you feel? Maybe the hands come out. The torso is tall. The breath is deep. And we realize we don't have to rush from thing to thing to thing in order to get it all done. We can slow it down. We can inquire, become curious, move back into sensation and sensing what our bodies are trying to tell us. Bring the knees together. Ah, bring the feet to the front of your mat. Have one block nearby. Come on down all the way. Press the elbows, the shoulders into the floor. The fingers point straight up. The tailbone lengthens, and then we lift to bridge pose. And again, we feel the feet. So maybe we lift the heels and then set them back down. We lift the front of the feet and we set them back down. And we feel the tailbone, we feel the glute muscles feather into the hamstrings. And then maybe the hands drift underneath the body and interlace. And we feel the front of the body open to the possibilities. And we feel the legs and we feel sensation and we're not afraid of it. Breathe and release the hands, undo the shoulders, lower all the way down. Ooh. Grab your block this time. Take the block underneath your sacrum at the lowest level. Feel your whole sacrum on the block. Your hips are even. Your shoulders are down. The palms can be down at your sides. Pause here. Bring one knee and then the other knee up. And if it is right for you, take the legs up. Notice where you are on the block, on your sacrum. It will be different for everybody. If you are flat on the sacrum, you'll have more arch in the low back. Not a lot. You shouldn't have a lot. Or if the legs are higher, closer to the nose, you'll have a little, you'll tip off the bottom edge of your block a little bit and be a little more rounded in the back. Either one is okay as long as there's no pain. Relax your feet, relax your upper body. And then finally, feel your breath. Feel the depth of your inhale and the length of your exhale. Notice. Relax your jaw. Bend your right knee, bring it to chest. Lower carefully, slowly, your left foot to the floor. So you're moving into a psoas stretch here. We won't be here long. If that is too much or you feel this in your lower back, then bend the left knee as well. You can use your hands around your right knee, but you don't need them. So if they're not comfortable, relax and don't use them. Maybe your left leg and your left arm are long, so your left arm goes overhead. If your left arm is overhead, lower it back down to your side or to your right leg. Bend your left knee, bring it to chest. Straighten the right leg down along the floor. Right arm can go overhead if that feels good. Relax your feet. And lower your right arm. Bend your right knee, bring it to chest, and allow the knees to fall into the chest. So it's a big rounded stretch for your low back. Be mindful. And then let the hands reach for the block and gently, slowly scoot the block out from underneath you. If you do it all at once, it might be a little jarring. Left knee in, right leg straight. Switch, right knee in, left leg straight. Slide the left foot out to the side of your mat, straighten the right leg out to the other side of your mat, and find your Shavasana. And as you come into Shavasana, once again, think about your practice and your life, that it is not about being perfect. It is about becoming curious with love and self-compassion, and then discovering what you can discover. Soften down. As you're ready, if you're ready, go ahead and wiggle your toes, your fingers. And slowly bend your knees. Bring your knees toward your chest. Maybe circle the knees one way and then the other way. And then allow the knees to roll over to one side. Curl over to seedling pose. And then press up, coming back to your seat. And during this holiday season, vow to take care of yourself, to be good to yourself, to love yourself. Bring your hands to your heart. Namaste. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thanks, everybody.